kind of go through Jackson's story, Gavin's story of us as parents, the difficulties we went through.
This might be one
trigger.
episode of the podcast where if you don't have kids or haven't had kids with medical issues, this podcast might be boring as fuck to you. That's fine. Just you can watch one of the other ones or wait for the next one. But we've had a couple people come up to us telling us, like literally in tears, telling us how the first podcast or second one we did resonated with them because of everything they went through, how they had issues as a kid and never thought about the parental view from it and the stress on us.
And then vice versa too. We had a parent.
So and completely unapproached just came up to us and told us how they felt. So again, if you don't want to listen for kids, that's fine. But this will be about Jackson and Gavin.
And also I do want to say that I this could be like a little trigger warning for people who are going through anything.
So if you smoke and this might trigger you a little bit, just roll up a joint, grab a bowl, bong, and chill out because it's pretty personal shit. But
I mean, you want to go through
don't mind
Jackson
this
a little
giant
bit?
zit on my forehead. I popped it this morning, and it is
this fucking guy. I asked him if I could cover it up.
Should have covered it up. I go, you're not putting makeup on my fucking face.
Oh
so
my God.
I'll
Go
roll
away.
with the zit. Everybody's got zits. It's fine. And
This guy.
go away next episode, hopefully. So
You're so fucking weird. Anyways, so Jackson, I'll start from the beginning, just because I do want to emphasize the fact that we were very lucky to have gotten pregnant both times, very easily. So like I said, we're very, very lucky for that. And then I did want that perfect pregnancy. I thought I was going to continue my awesome eating and exercising, but I hated pregnancy and I always felt guilty for feeling that way. But I literally gagged my whole pregnancy right up and through.
it wasn't gagging.
And
Sorry,
puking.
it was literally, we'd be at a restaurant and just and people just look, and I was so numb to it that it was just an everyday thing. I didn't fucking think twice.
I know.
I'm sitting there eating away, and people are looking at me.
I know,
like
but
I'm
like by
fucking nuts.
Gavin, you were like so numb to
numb
it
to it.
that
I didn't
you
even
didn't
hear it
even
anymore.
care though, because
No,
it
not
still
that I
hurt.
didn't care. I felt bad, but I just.
But like you were numb to it to the
do
fact you
anything.
just,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like by the second pregnancy, a lot of husbands do that. They just end up.
I don't know if anybody's ever thrown up and dry heaved like that like if anybody that knows us is laughing right now because it was fucking bad. Like,
I know.
Some of the people you can't even make the noise around because they'll just throw up. But
I know. Anyways, yeah, so that went right up until we delivered Jackson, and he came out, and what were you gonna say?
Christmas morning.
Oh yeah, Christmas morning was.
We were in the hospital Christmas morning, sitting on the couch. I remember you were in the bathroom. I hear her go, oh fuck, or oh shit or something, and that's when her water broke. So
Oh, I know, right?
we asked for no Christmas baby, said anything we want. We didn't really think about the timing of getting pregnant and when the kid might be born, but
Not at all.
we just didn't want a Christmas baby because we didn't want the holiday and all that shit.
He was
to be
due
taken
New
away.
Year's
So,
Day,
he was due New Year's Day. So either way, we're going to have a holiday kid. But
right?
she went into labor Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Morning. And then he didn't come out till 24 hours later.
Yeah, just
Roughly
about. I was in labor for 18 hours.
Yeah, that was...
No meds. That was fun. And then I took meds because I lost my fucking mind.
She went, I'm like, you can tap. It's okay. There's no fucking ring match here. Like, tap. The lady literally came in the room and told her, I don't know if you were screaming Spanish or English. I can't fucking remember. But she literally came in here and said, honey, there's people trying to sleep on this floor. You need fucking medicine.
Dude, it wasn't even
I was
yelling.
trying not to laugh because
It was like a weird moan.
It was like you were getting stabbed.
Oh my God, stop.
It was, I've seen some weird shit, but that was fucking intense.
You're
so,
welcome.
Since she got all drugged up, I had to leave the room, went down and ate a disgusting sandwich in the hospital.
Oh, excuse me. I am so sorry. Well,
bad.
I was getting an epidural that you had to eat a disgusting sandwich after I hadn't eaten for like 24 hours. You
But
stupid
that was doctor's
fuck.
orders.
I cannot.
I had to eat.
I
was
hate
hungry.
you, you skunk. You
But
are
yeah, I
such
came
a
back
skunk.
and your epidural, you were high as fuck. And I was like, how you feeling? You go, I'm good now. Literally, you're fucking cross-eyed.
I did try something else, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
They give you some
remember what
pill
it
that
was.
lasted like 4 minutes and then it just didn't fucking work. So
It was supposed to last like 2 hours so I could take a nap, and that was not a thing.
yeah, but that was a a very long, intense evening. So.
Yeah. Puked that morning all the way through. Delivered Jackson.
No, but the second he came out, didn't gag, didn't puke one time.
I know, it was over.
Done. It was the weirdest shit.
Okay, we can get off the puking.
Sorry, done with puking.
Jesus.
No, Jackson came out. And we said this in, I think, the second episode or the third episode. I don't know what episode we're on. That's the problem with smoking weed.
It doesn't matter. Just keep going, brah.
Yeah, Jackson came out, and we noticed he was a little cross-eyed, which... Oh, no, sorry. Hold on. Let me back up here. When he came out originally, he wasn't breathing. I didn't want to tell her that, though. They took him over to the corner, smacked him in the chest a couple times, gave him a chest rub, which any of the military guys out there know a chest rub's not fucking cool. It really, really hurts. So that woke him up. He was just purple as a plum for a little bit. Yeah, he was good. So...
he opened his eyes and you saw.
Yeah, and then he was a little cross-eyed, and I was like, fuck, I got a cross-eyed kid. All right, here we go.
But I know
which I was fine.
A lot of newborns, I feel like, they
Yeah, but I've never had a kid. I don't know, do his eyes straight out?
So you didn't know right away.
His head was shaped like a football. Like, I don't know. Fuck, I had no idea.
Right.
But we noticed his eyes were a little crossed, and again, with everything, her giving birth, I mean, it's fucking chaos.
I know. You don't even it's just a beautiful moment. You don't even think about those things. Yeah.
Everything, but then they took us into our regular room that you're in for a couple of days, and this was literally just pre-COVID, so everything now is different. But we were in the room for a couple of days, and we started talking about it. He was cross-eyed, and the doctors kept.
And then we noticed too, his eye didn't open up as much as the other. It was smaller.
Saying he was winking.
Yeah, it kept looking like he's winking.
Like, yeah, he's cute as fuck. It's a baby. That's what they do. I don't know. But we had like 3 different doctors keep coming in and checking the same thing, and us being us, like we just mentioned on the live, we're pretty blunt people of, okay, who the fuck are you? What are you doing? You're the third person in here in 10 minutes.
Right, because he didn't pass the red eye test.
That's what it was. So they told us that there's a red eye test. Pretty much when they put the flashlight in, his pupils need to dilate or kick back something.
It's the red eye that you get like when you take a picture.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. When you take a photo. Actually, that makes sense because I have a picture we can post of Jackson in his crib with the light on him. And his left eye, you can see that, and the right eye is completely...
It's dark.
Nothing there. It's wild.
Insane.
So they told us at that point, they didn't really seem too concerned, and if they were, they were kind of... They
played it off very well. The doctor did play it off. She said, you're going to have to go to a specialist. I am not seeing this, yada, yada. So, of course, me being who I am also, I look all these things up, and immediately you get a couple of, a list of things, and one of the top symptoms for retinoblastoma, which is a rare eye cancer for children, because there's cancer on the retina or a tumor there. And so, yeah, that was what, we see and look up. And then we go to the specialist after a couple days because it was Christmas time, New Year's. So we had to wait through all those days before we could even go to a doctor.
But again, we didn't really know they weren't pulling a fight. What's up? Yeah. Is COVID affecting you?
Not yet.
This was right before COVID.
It was Christmas.
Okay. But the problem, which we'll talk about later, all his surgeries were during COVID. That was a fucking whole other topic I'll go on later. But, but the doctors didn't seem like they were pulled a fire alarm and say listen, you got to fucking get there right now. It wasn't like, I don't know.
No, it was because of the fact that Christmas that they didn't.
Oh, maybe that's why everything was
Yeah, honey. So the doctor made it chill, and then because of the fact that we had to be days, we almost had a whole week of waiting to see a doctor and get an actual answer of does my child have...
Plus there's only 3 doctors.
In this area.
Yeah, for kids that deal with cancer in general.
In this area. Yeah. And then, we find out that we go to this doctor, the specialist that's in Buffalo, and find out he looks at his eye, which is torture when your child's a week and a half old.
It's like reverse tongs. They go backwards. They literally put something under his eye, and I'm holding the fucking kid like this. They turn the lights off, and it's just... It's what is it, a spotlight you see in the old school movies where the guy's just on stage?
Yeah, you had to hold him.
They literally just rip his eye open. The kid's fucking screaming. I'm like, Doc, what the fuck are we doing here? And he's like, oh, it's normal. I'm like, this ain't fucking normal, dude. This kid's a week old.
So then he's looking. Doctor, by the way, he has his assistant look, and then,
He knew something was wrong the second he
They left the office and then come back in. And, you know, I immediately knew that they were going to say it. And like, I looked in their faces and knew that it was coming. Like, they're going to say cancer. And then it was just like everything was in slow motion. It's so fucking, it's the weirdest. I hope no one ever has to go through that ever.
It was like, like I said before in the movies, I remember him telling me, your kid's got cancer. And I remember literally saying, what the fuck are you talking about? How could you tell me that? He goes, well, I'm about 99% sure that this is it.
Yeah.
Literally, my ears were ringing. I started sweating. I had tunnel vision. It was like someone.
You literally got up in like a second.
My brain literally shut off. Like
you walked right out.
I walked right out. I went into the bathroom because I almost physically passed out. Came back in, and I honestly don't remember a word he said after that.
I know.
I blacked out. I don't remember shit.
So then that whole time, Derek was in the bathroom, and I'm sobbing.
I left her by herself, not on purpose. I just literally, my brain I was out. I don't know. I just left the room.
I'm sobbing and looking at Jackson as he's like laying on my lap, and I just had to sit there and listen and pay attention to what the doctor was telling me about where we had to go next and what we had to do. Derek walked back into the room and sat down. And then he explained to us that no one in the area was able to do chemotherapy in the eye like this specialist out in New York City. And that he needed us to go out there because he wants us to work with this doctor because he's amazing in this field.
And they planned on him being there, I think, for a while.
Yeah. So he's like, you know, pack your bags. I don't know if you're going to be there for days. I don't know if you're going to be there for, I don't know how long. And he's like,
you know what's wild? Sorry, before I forget. Jackson's going to be able to hear his whole fucking story. That's pretty, I was
thinking about that too. And it's like,
he's going to be able to watch this one day and hear it all. That's fucking crazy.
I know.
Anyway, sorry.
Is it
okay
that we do this?
Yeah.
When you think
about it. If I were him, I'd want to know what the fuck happened. I mean, I can't remember shit as it is about my childhood, but whatever. Just it is what it is, but.
You're right.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no. So Derek's sitting there, like you were so stone cold. Like you were blacked out, I feel like. So I'm sitting there, the baby's on my lap, yada, yada. Doctor's telling us we're going to this doctor out in New York City. There's this chemotherapy. They put a needle behind the eye, put the chemotherapy right into the tumor so that it goes only to the tumor rather than the child because he was so young, getting chemotherapy or radiation right through the body. So we packed our bags. We hopped in our truck. I was wearing a diaper still. Snowstorm.
Missy was wearing a diaper. Jackson was 10 days old, 14 days old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drove to New York City in the middle of a snowstorm. Literally a snowstorm.
Yeah, it was bad. And then we get to New York City. We get the tiniest little fucking hotel or Airbnb or whatever, just because it's like, we didn't know what the plan was, what we were going to do, how long we had to be there. So we had to book out like a week ahead, not sure. And
don't ever drive a pickup truck to New York City, by the way. I was one of two in the city, and I had to pay like $160 a day for parking because I required 2 parking spots. So just an FYI, don't ever do that.
Well, we're going to go to New York this weekend or next weekend.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of New York.
Well, when this comes out, it'll be that weekend.
Yeah. So at this time, we're going to
the CVCW Expo, which is going to be sick. It's all the big businesses in the cannabis industry.
The Cannabis World Congress and Business Exposition. It's in New York City. So
it's fucking huge. And so we got some media passes. So we're going to be there all weekend doing our live Instagram podcasts because unfortunately we won't have our guys from Revelry.
We did just find out it was like a 4-day notice.
Yeah. So
it's okay.
Yeah. But we're going to make it happen. We're going to make this shit work. Okay. I don't know. I'm not Italian. I'm getting this down. We just go like this in the Hispanic world. We tell it like it is.
Alrighty.
Anyways. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just looking up.
Okay. So anyways, we're going to be there. So make sure you guys check out our Instagram. Yeah. So back to Jackson. We are in New York City that night. We walk over to Sloan Kettering, which was the most amazing hospital I have ever been to. They were so welcoming and loving, and it's like they knew who we were, who Jackson was, where we came from.
They knew about him before we even got there.
Oh my God. They were so caring and so loving. And
that's how I knew something was wrong. I was like,
yeah,
we had like concierge service. The second we walked in, like, oh, Jackson. I'm like, this is fucking good. But I'm glad we had it because
it eased a lot of our stresses for sure. For the moment, I guess, for what it was. It sucked though. So then we end up getting right in. We see the doctor. He puts Jackson under anesthesia so that he could take an observation of his eye. Under anesthesia, he comes back out half hour later.
That was like the longest fucking 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was the longest 30 minutes of my life.
We've been some pretty long minute situations, but that was the moment where we found out if he had cancer or not. That was a pretty long 30 minutes. Yeah. I don't think we sat still. I think I remember just walking around in circles like a fucking dog trying to like
I remember we
find somewhere
to
pee.
With all the other families who are going through that.
Yeah, it was fucking...
And talking to us on how to make it easier.
Mm-hmm.
That was so... Or like trying to... Because like when they told us what that main symptom was of the tumor right on the retina, like it's set. Like it's retinoblastoma in their eyes, but like they needed to make sure there needs to be confirmation because there are also some very rare disorders or, other things that could happen, right? But so everyone there is like set on the fact that like they know that what our future is going to be like. And so they sat there and explained to us, this is going to happen possibly. And it's like they were doing it to comfort us. Don't get me wrong.
Well, they know what you're about to go through.
Yeah.
We had Ronald McDonald House. I was just like, like Ronald McDonald House?
Yeah.
I was literally like...
When people are asking us if
not
we need that.
one time in my life did I ever think I'd fucking even consider knowing what that was. And I don't mean that in the wrong way, but... I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, they're offering to, like, pay for your housing and shit. I'm like, no. Like, no, that's not...
We did find out that this was a struggle over time. This has been hard financially. I'm not going to lie.
Well, COVID fucked a lot of shit, but that's...
Yeah, but... So it's like... But to know that people literally can't even find a hotel or get a place to live.
That's why I didn't want to stay there. I'm like, I'll sleep in my fucking car.
Exactly. I'm never going to take that. But anyways, so, the doctor calls us back and we sit down and I'm recording everything because I'm terrified that I'm going to miss something.
You still have that recording?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to hear that.
I have.
That's weird. I don't know.
So the doctor sits there and he immediately tells us, because he could tell we're on pins and needles, and he goes, I rarely get to tell people this. And it was like, I literally saw a light of some sort that, holy fuck, like no fucking chance is my kid going to be a miracle kid of some sort. And we're going to be able to like walk away from this. But it was like a moment of relief for that hot second. It's so fucking unreal, all those moments, because they're so slow-mo. So it's like that goes down and he says, I rarely get to tell your parents this, but your son doesn't have retinoblastoma. He doesn't have cancer. He has this extremely rare eye disorder called PHPV.
Don't ask me. I said he had some kind of herpes last episode on accident.
Yeah.
What did I say? PFV or whatever?
You said PHV.
PHV. It was not PHV.
No. Our son doesn't have PHV.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it's persistent fetal vasculature, PFV also. And so we find this out and it's like, we need to pay attention to what's about to go down and like learn about this. But then we're in shock that we just found out our child doesn't have cancer after we've pretty much set in our fucking head, because not only did our first doctor pretty much set it in our head, but like heading over to Sloan Kettering and seeing all those parents and feeling all those parents and knowing that they know what's going to go down. Like
but they're still going through it right now.
So. Yeah. Feeling all that shit And then hearing that was insanity. And like, it's like we're listening and he tells us it's this very rare eye disorder. What happens is, with his eye, it didn't form completely. It's not genetic. It is nothing that I did to him during my pregnancy. For all of those who did make comments on me and were fucking harsh on me when I did post things in the past on the fact that I did not smoke or consume cannabis, because that was my choice. And I didn't do anything, for both pregnancies because that was my choice, including breastfeeding, because that was my choice. So I'm just going to throw that shit out there.
That seems like it could be a whole episode right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have a couple women that want in on that one.
Oh, yeah. Missy did not smoke. We don't drink. She
Yeah.
literally did nothing. It was so fucking rough.
I know.
So you go from stoner Missy to full-blown raging
Psycho
hormone.
Latina
Yeah, I saw a
hormone.
whole different side. I was a little scared for a little bit.
That's why we're only having two children.
And that's when
two
I
and
started
through.
smoking more marijuana to help that. So, yeah. But she's
It's
good now.
wild, dude. Even this, like on our way here, we were fighting so hard in the truck, but not fighting. Just like there was a tension of some sort. And then we got here.
This is all
and
over driving
realized,
or flying to New York City. This is all this was about.
Well, no. I'm talking about right now today. Because
Yeah,
I
it's
just
this
feel like,
morning.
yeah, okay. And it's like, we just didn't smoke all morning. We didn't have time. We were hanging out with the kids. We were doing our shit. I went to the gym. I went to yoga. And it's like, so it's interesting to know that like how stress relieving. So even during these moments, we're not allowed to smoke in New York. I'm breastfeeding, so I wasn't smoking. And then we're going through all this shit and we're like on pins and needles the whole time we're there with tension, with all this stress. And so then we find out, with the kids or with Jackson from the doctor, this news, and we have to stay in the hospital for a certain amount of time. So we have to go upstairs and have the baby sleep. We had to have Jackson sleep through because of how much anesthesia he needed and how young he was.
I don't think we slept for like 24 hours at this point. Right?
Oh my God, we didn't sleep at all.
But no, but he wouldn't sleep because he
Right.
was all drugged up, and every time we left, he'd freak the fuck
Yeah.
out. So I don't think we slept.
Because
for a day and a half.
they were amazing. They like would make us go eat.
Yeah.
They
Then-
would make us leave because of how long we were there and just how stressed out that whole situation was. And knowing
cold too.
I know,
Just
it was
remember that
freezing.
New York City
That
with the wind,
snowstorm.
holy fuck! Pushing the
crazy.
stroller down the street and shit. Ugh, just
rough.
remember that.
Remember I had to buy a jacket because my fat ass couldn't fit in any of my old jackets because I was so big from being pregnant.
Remember that.
Shut up. Really? You had to go to Target on your own to go get a fucking jacket. You had to pick out a jacket for me. You don't remember that?
Was it
You picked
Target
out
in New York City.
I don't know, but you picked it out. It was fucking ugly green. It
My
was
memory's
horrible.
not the best. I've been
I
hit,
know.
not even with my marijuana use. I've had a lot of concussions over the years, documented and undocumented, and some other things.
I've had a concussion.
My memory's not the
recently.
best, so.
That was fun. But anyways, so we're upstairs in the hospital. We are with Jackson. They're doing tests on him, just making sure he's okay throughout. Just had to sleep through the anesthesia, and we find out, tomorrow morning you get to leave. And we're like, wait, what?
What the fuck do we do now?
Yeah, like, okay.
I literally called work and said, I'm out. I don't know when I will be back ever, or a month, a week, a day. I didn't know. So when we find out that we're going home
Yeah.
tomorrow, I'm like,
Yeah. So we get directed to Dr. Chung, right?
yeah, Mina Chung.
Mina Chung.
Find her on Google, like I said before. Mina
Wait, yeah.
Chung.
Yeah. And she was amazing. She was in Rochester because there's not that many doctors who know about this disorder, work with people with this disorder, or children for that matter. Because I mean, it's a children. Most of the time, you're born with it, so it's children right off the bat, babies, and some people aren't diagnosed with it right away, and it's very, very rare. There's a small group that I belong to on Facebook because that's the only connection that I have with this. There's maybe like a couple.
in Canada?
There's like 1,000. Yeah.
Wasn't she in Disney World when
She
we were
was in
there?
Disney World when we were there. We tried to hook up with her.
That's super
One of my girlfriends,
Where are they at
right?
with that?
Like now she's like one of my friends because we connected on social media. Her daughter has the same disorder as Jackson. She has a little bit more slight, whatever. Anyways, it's nice to be able to have somebody outside of just me and you to talk to, but at the same time, we have no one.
Well, yeah, it's a rare.
It's so fucked up. Yeah. So that's where we cannabis has helped us kind of like relieve that stress, or kind of what we were talking about the last episode on, not blank out, but like kind of like put the pressure of what that was down.
And having a sorry, I got a little agita for all my Italian friends out there. Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
It was a Tim Hortons bagel this morning. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, when you have to have a serious conversation in general about anything, is if you're pissed off and about to talk about something serious, it's not going to go well. It's going to be way worse. And the person that's going to be affected is the kid. It has nothing to do with you two smashing fucking heads together. But we knew that. If we were in a bad mood or we were stressed out, we would literally go smoke, have a coffee, just relax. And once we were fucking calm, we'd talk about it and, hey, what the fuck are we going to do?
Yeah.
Are we going here, there, whatever it was? But I can tell you right now, if I wasn't smoking, we probably would have been divorced fucking 3 years ago, and it would have been
because we've got a lot of shit. We have a
bad.
lot of fucking baggage. Yeah. Both of us have been through shit in our past, and then we've been going through shit with the kids. Yeah. It's insane.
And the craziest part too, that I think about this is
because the love's there.
And this sounds stupid, but it's not. Like we drove from New York through Pennsylvania to Ohio. Literally hop on the 90 and you're right there, right?
What are you talking about?
Ohio.
I'm talking about Rochester still, bro.
Oh, we're not on that yet?
No, honey.
No, I'll go over that later.
Jeez. This is where maybe the marijuana did jump in a little bit.
No.
It's just been that much of a fucking long story.
And we've been back and
I feel like this episode is going to be a part 1, part 2. I really do think so at this point because...
What do you think, Mr. Green?
Yeah, Dr. Green.
Probably. You guys are getting close to your time. So.
Yeah.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah. Mina ends up being this great doctor because, there's no one around that can help us. The only other one is like Miami, Ohio, California, I think Texas. There's people around, but you got to go to a different state. We have to travel or head over to Rochester, which was crazy that, it ends up being an hour away from us. Yeah, it was insane. So, we go see Mina. Because at that time, we didn't know that it was that fucking rare. We had no fucking clue that it was that rare to the point that not every doctor knew.
I don't think she knew because she stopped the surgery to come out and literally tell us, hey, this is what we're looking for.
Well, no, she knew what she was looking for. So, yeah, we go in, Mina has an appointment with us and then tells us that we need to have a second appointment and do surgery. And we're like, okay, on what?
We almost didn't do it, though. Remember?
Right.
I was pissed.
Yeah. So, she's like, his retina, if it's attached, then there is possibility of, maybe seeing light, colors, shadows. It's all about, seeing what we can help him with from, what I see while we put him under anesthesia tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. So we're like, so what if it's not attached? And she's like, well, then he's blind in that eye and he can't see and we don't do anything. And so we're like, okay, so how do we find this out? She's like, well, I'll come out to you or we'll do a phone call in the waiting room and we'll let you know if it's attached or not attached. And we're like, okay, holy fuck, let's do this. So we ended up driving that morning. Yeah. So we go to surgery, or he goes on, or not surgery, anesthesia. We get the call, however minutes later, 15 minutes, 20 minutes later. And
we were literally talking to her on a phone on the wall.
I know.
That was fucking weird.
Well, and might I add, your child isn't allowed to eat or drink.
Oh, fuck.
And he's a newborn.
Yeah.
And he's screaming bloody, before anesthesia, screaming bloody murder.
And then you had a pump.
Which I had to still pump. My titties were so fucking engorged Derek, that ain't
pregnant
the
boobies
same.
Are the best.
Are they though?
Yeah.
Are they, Dr. Green?
You like pregnant boobies?
No, maybe not. That doesn't, no. Let's just scratch that one out.
Why? It's good.
Wait, hold up.
The pregnant boobies is hilarious.
It doesn't work there.
That's so funny.
It doesn't work there.
I'm only not commenting on pregnant boobies because I'm not married to
the
woman.
same person.
Oh.
I realized that, and I was like,
All right, so just cut out that part. Leave the pregnant boobies, but cut your part out.
yeah. So pregnant boobies, you really think that's the way to go? I don't know. It's a little much.
They're nice.
That's funny because they just hurt so much, and they weigh like 80 fucking pounds, or at least they feel that way, and just leaking.
I didn't understand anything about pregnancy. I'm like, what the? Her boobs are like. I
and
learned
then when
a
you
lot
watched me
real
like
fast.
fucking changing a diaper, like literally,
I
like
learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
very quick.
we got to love each other.
Yeah, we were in. Yeah, the New York City apartment was.
Yeah.
Probably smaller than the studio.
Yeah, it was
Probably ended like right here.
Anyways.
Bathroom, everything.
Yeah, that was right after. Anyways, so we get the phone call. Mina calls us, and she's like, "Hey guys, it's attached," and we're like, "Okay, holy fuck, we gotta make a decision." So I'm looking at Derek. Derek's looking at me, and I'm just like, "What do we do?" And he's like, "Okay, we're going through surgery because that's what we agreed upon before, right?" And I'm like, "Okay, let's do this." So we tell her, and she's like, "Okay," and she does it. And she comes out when she's done. She's like, "You did great, blah, blah, blah. I did this, and this. Well, I'll see you in a week." And I'm like, holy fuck, okay, we're allowed to go home? And she's like, yes. And we're like, okay. So we drive home with our child, just like had surgery, whatever. And then we see her the week following. And she tells us it's healing, yada, yada. I'm going to see you in a month. And then
that was to take the silicone out of his eye, right?
We didn't know about the
Or to
silicone.
adjust it or whatever.
We didn't know anything. It was just a checkup. And so then we go in, or no, we don't go in. A week before our appointment, we get a phone call, and it's from her assistant, or no, a friend of yours actually, that knew. She worked in the department. She's like, "I wanted to tell you before they called, but Dr. Chung passed away." And my heart fucking
I thought they had the wrong
dropped.
phone number. I was like, excuse me?
And I was
what?
like, what? And I started like screaming. It was almost like you're like she was like a family member at the moment, in a sense, like not emotionally, not any, but like she was our lifeline in us, like of like what was happening with Jackson, because she was the only doctor that knew about this and knew about his disorder and knew, I guess, I mean, on top of the fact that it was super rare, Jackson's case is like insane. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's on a whole other level.
Well, his eye socket and the eyeball are.
It's just a hot mess. Poor boy. So, we find out she passed away, and she tells us, and she says she was in a freak accident. She fell off a mountain in Italy skiing. She had just hit an ice and just went right over. And
if any of this is wrong, we apologize.
Yeah, but this is what we read. This is what we were told, and went right over. And, the instructor went right with her to help her. And, I mean, she died right there. They had to helicopter her and him out. And I guess he got out, I understand. I don't know. But, yeah. And so we didn't have a doctor anymore. So then COVID starts.
Yay.
Like immediately, those moments.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, we just previously, 2 months before this happened, I quit my job, started a new job, bought a brand new house. So there's a couple things before this that happened. It was just
pregnant, miserable pregnant.
Yeah. Just rains
like stressful. It was the worst.
Anyway, carry on.
So, I mean, I think, to be completely honest, that's where we kind of cut it off at COVID. And where we go from there after Mina. And yeah. So we'll do part 2, Jackson, and then get into Gavin, because it's the never ending story in our house.
Well, it is now, thank God. Not
Yeah.
gonna wood, but.
Yeah. So we wanted to go ahead and make sure that you guys follow all of our sponsors, Fireglass, Revelry House, and...
Scoop tubes.
I know. I feel like it's like meant to be his to just
goes so nice. Scoops tubes.
I know.
You
I
can't
like the way
forget
he
that,
says
like,
it.
Yeah, and Scooby's a stoner. Like,
I know. Cute. Yeah. So, yeah, make sure you guys follow us. We're on YouTube.
we'll be live at the expo.
Yeah.
If anybody knows if you can actually buy weed there, please let me know because I'm gonna need to know these things.
Derek, I literally
I
had
like
this
panic if I don't know.
Dr. Green, listen to this. I literally had this conversation with him yesterday, and I'm like, you know, we're gonna find out what we have to wear. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I mean, I want to make sure you have all your shirts pressed and we have it all. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm going to wear t-shirts and jeans. And I said, no, you have to dress up. What? It's this kind of, and I literally had,
40 hours a week.
But I literally had to explain to him that this is work. This is our life now. We've made this a part of our life because we want to help advocate and create a community for others who are trying to lose the stigma on marijuana use as a parent, as an adult. In general. So if that's your tune,
and always
tune
clean up
in
your
next
ashes.
week.
Don't be that stoner.
Oh, Jesus.
Clean up your
All right. Fuck everyone. We love you all.
Ciao.
Bye.